What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again, and I think it's time to do part 2 of me answering your questions. I'll jump in right where I left off. G. Graham, I saw this question in another video. I now feel it is necessary for everyone who makes an ask video to answer. Which would win in a fight, 50 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck, and why? That is an easy question to me, at least. I mean, a horse-sized duck. First of all, because that would be freaking terrifying. I mean, its quack would be like supersonic. It'd be like all that percussive action coming at you. And I mean, that's death from above. All the little horses you could punt. You can get away from those. But the duck would just be all over you. So hopefully that answers your question, G. Graham. Jace McRobbie, who did you vote for in the election this year? I touched a little bit on this in the part 1 of these Ask videos. Sorry, I should probably play with something here, guys, so you're not just looking at a lot of cool knives. Maybe that's all you need. I'm not particularly interested in political affairs whatsoever, so I did not vote. I didn't take the time to find out everybody's policies to see who I agreed with most. I'm not affiliated with a political party, and honestly, I really didn't care. So I didn't want to take out the time to vote either. And some people may disagree with that, but I mean, I think we all can agree it was an odd election, and hopefully things work out for the best. But that's just kind of my view on things. So good question though. Doug Glock 23, what is your current Grail knife? Oh, I'm so glad someone asked this. I wish I had a picture of it. So for a while, it was the Microtech Bounty Hunter, the Boba Fett Ultratech, and I actually messed with one at Blade HQ, and I was not thoroughly impressed. It had a little bit more blade play than I thought it would. It was a little bit smaller than I thought. For some reason, I thought an Ultratech was just a little bit bigger, but it didn't seem like a bad knife, but it did not seem like $290 worth of awesome. So I didn't really have a Grail knife for a little while, and I do now. The Olamic Wayfarer. That knife is, oh my gosh, it is beautiful. And every iteration that they come out with, whether it has the holes drilled in the titanium handles or not, I mean, they have bolstered ones, they got carbon fiber. Oh man, it's amazing. There's so many different unique styles that they're coming out with of that knife. I love it. If I could have one knife, you know, from Blade HQ or something right now, it'd probably be that one. Good question, Dub. Ghost Neck, it would be cool if you did a video showing your crappiest knives, your first knives and such. Actually, I recently found some of my gas station knives, and I was thinking about doing a video on it. They were just a random assortment of ones I've accumulated over the years, you know, when I was younger, that are even, you know, worse qualities than some of my worst production blades from notable knife companies. They're bad. So that is a good video idea. So thanks, Ghost Neck. Jaden Ingalls, what knife in recent days or weeks do you just feel like a boss carrying other than your ZT? I really enjoy carrying the War Admiral. I do feel like a boss carrying this thing around just because you got a folding meat cleaver in your pocket, and a really well-made one at that. Similarly, if I carry fixed blades, I always feel like a boss for some reason. We're using boss here. That's the terminology. These two, the SOG Seal Pup Elite and the Dawn Warrior from Tops. Those are just kind of badass, all-purpose, tactical style blades, and they're awesome. And he's looking for a recommendation for an under $30 heavy-duty work knife. He says, I'm considering the Rat 1 and Cryo 2. Excellent options on both fronts. I think the Cryo 2 might have a little bit stronger lock, but your Rat 1 is going to be by far the most versatile and the best value. Check out the SE Avispa as well. Those knives, though, that I would definitely go with one of those. Bearded Bassist, a new subscriber here. What is your favorite scale material? I wish I had some aluminum to show you. It's aluminum or titanium. You can do a lot of cool things with it. It's very, you can see, you can mill it in interesting ways, and then of course you can anodize it. These are all titanium. But something about aluminum, I'm sure the tripod's sitting on a couple knives. Move you back here. Something like this SOG. Aluminum just really calls to me. I love the way it wears, and you can anodize it. Cool colors as well. Let's move you back. All right. And do you get loaners from viewers? That's another question from Bearded Bases. No, I don't. I have in the past a little bit, but not enough to constitute, you know, saying that I do, because First of all, I didn't really ask for it. I think I'd have a couple of people willing to give me some loaners, but it's a little bit nerve-wracking, I think, for both parties. You know, say if this ZTO 456 wasn't mine, it was someone else's, and somebody really wanted me to check it out, that's great. I would love to do that. I can do an overview video on it, you know, and with their permission, I could carry it, you know, perhaps not, whatever they want. But sending a knife like this that costs, you know, $240 in the mail is scary. And, you know, nobody wants to pay all the insurance both ways, so they'll probably do priority 2-day mail. So once I get the knife, it is my responsibility not to break it, not to do anything to it. That would constitute me buying another one. So, you know, can't break the tip or things like that. So it's a lot of, you know, stress on my part to be very careful with the knife and then send it back, and hopefully it gets back there safe, because if not, I might be responsible and then have to buy a new one. And on their part, I mean, they're giving away at least one of their probably more expensive blades in this case to a complete stranger in hopes that they'll send it back, which of course I would, but it's a little bit iffy right now. That one guy 98, are there any knife companies you stay away from, and why? There's a ton of knife companies I stay away from. M-Tech, you know, Amazon special M-Tech knives pretty much. Tac Force, you know, things like that. Any knife company that is a gun company first, and I'm talking Smith & Wesson, like Colt, you know, like all these brands that make weapons, or, you know, firearms at least, and they come out with knives, they usually all suck. In fact, I had a couple of the Ruger CRKT collaboration ones, and I sold them. They're gone. I don't have them in my collection. They did not stay around for very long. They're cool for sure, but they're not very functional. So gun-related knife companies, those crappy Amazon ones, Gerber for sure. I don't think I only have this one Gerber, and this was a gift from a long time ago, and it's actually not that bad. But Gerber in general, I do not like. And then SOG, I would say I'm not a huge fan of SOG, but I love their designs. I do. I mean, this thing is classic in almost every sense of the word. It's very cool. SOG has some of the coolest looking designs, I think. They're just a little bit overpriced, and I think their materials are a little bit subpar. Other than that, I stay away from any companies I know I can't afford. You know, Microtech, things like that. So good question. What celebrity do you resemble the most, from Peyton Burns? I can tell you, man. I mean, I had some people in high school tell me I look like the guy from Glee. I think his name was Finn on the show. I never watched Glee, but I had that told to me a lot, if that gives you any indication. TomTech13, what are your 3 favorite knives? Well, at this very time, we're going to go ZTO220, the Dawn Warrior, and the War Admiral. Couple of titanium frame locks and an all-purpose blade here. Dick Cornish is looking for an EDC folder that is a flipper with an axis lock, and spring assisted would be a bonus. West Coast EDC told him to try Gonzo. Mr. Cornish, that's the only thing I can tell you too. I don't know of any models that have all 3 of those attributes other than Benchmade, which you mentioned is going to be a little bit too much, and I do not blame you. But do try Gonzo. I mean, that's the only way you're going to be able to get an axis lock with some features that I think you want for a really reasonable price. Now, I don't buy Gonzo knives just because they are, you know, clones or too close of iterations of other knives, so they're kind of stealing designs, but that's just my thing. So yeah, try Gonzo. Caden Pierce, favorite knife under $50. Ooh, that's rough. As of right now, the one that's in my collection, I'd probably have to go Tops Taibo. I think this thing is really capable for the $48 I spent, and really fits well into some of my EDC systems. But overall, I mean, you can't go wrong with the Spyderco Tenacious, Kershaw Skyline, things like that. But for my collection alone, I'll probably go there. Alexis F. Did someone steal your sweet roll? If you guys don't get that, it's from Skyrim. It's a gamer reference. And no one did. I think you took an arrow to the knee. But you were once an adventurer like me, but I mean, that's awesome. DJ Major, what's your all-time favorite EDC loadout? I actually have it next to me. It's generally going to be ZTO220, my Olight, and then a Leatherman. Those are the only tools I really like carrying around. Anything more than that, you know, it's just kind of a supplement to what I think I'm going to be doing. I might carry a neck knife if I'm outside, you know, working in the yard. I might carry a fixed blade if I'm out hiking. But as far as normal day-to-day stuff, that ZTO220 and Olight and a Leatherman seem to have me completely covered on the things I need to accomplish. It's a good question, though. Birdshot 4, your favorite budget food that helps you save for knives. Oh, we all have this. Sadly, it's fast food, because I really try to fool myself into thinking that that'll really save me some money for my next knife purchase. You know, say I was looking at getting another knockout, and I was like, okay, I need $60, and I need to save for, you know, 2 weeks, and I'll just eat fast food and not bother with getting grocery, you know, or being smart and preparing meals for the week for work. I'm one of those people, so I know it doesn't save me money, but I do it. Cedric Ada Gear and Outdoors. What are your 3 favorite knife YouTube channels? It's funny that he asked because you are one of them. Birdshot 4, Nick Shabazz, and you, my friend. I watch all your videos, all 3 of those channels' videos pretty religiously as soon as they come out. 3 other off-topic channels. If I'm on YouTube not doing knife stuff, I'm usually watching something funny or listening to music. So I'm on SNL, Jimmy Fallon, or just, you know, listening to whatever music I want to on the way to work or something like that. So good question, though. Main Dave 1, can you do a backflip? Absolutely not. Not even close. I'm so uncoordinated. Which, again, is probably not the best thing to have, or best quality to have when you're dealing with knives all day. West Coast CDC, how long do you plan on knife collecting? Well, I know this video is going a little bit longer than part 1, but we're nearing the end here. I'm pretty deep into the hobby. Let me adjust you just a little bit. And, you know, originally it just started because I like knives. I found out that I like using them. And before I knew it, I was in a knife YouTube channel. I got a knife Instagram page. It's all about knives now, and I don't think I'm going anywhere. I mean, I stay tuned with knife news. I try to stay up on what Blade HQ has coming in and stuff like that. And then, do you collect other things besides knives? I did. I don't really anymore, but I think collecting has always been in my blood. Because as a kid, you know, I collected football cards. And then it kind of moved to, you know, football jerseys, basketball jerseys. I got lots of sports apparel. And then it moved to hats. I mean, I'm looking at 80 or so hats right now. It was a big phase of mine. I was just all about different NBA hats that I wanted to wear. And then it kind of shifted into knives. And there's always been something I was currently collecting, whether it was, you know, cheaper watches or just something. So, yeah, I'm going to be in the hobby for quite a while. I think this is Jerome. What are your thoughts on real steel knives? I'm really glad this came up as well because I've been looking at real steel knives for probably 6 months, deciding whether or not to get one. Because they're using Sandvik 14C28N steel, they immediately caught my attention. This Kershaw Knockout, one of my favorite blades of all time, and it's using that steel. Now, real steel knives have some cool fixed blades I've been looking into as well, and I believe they have one in D2 that I almost bought a couple of times. But all in all, their designs seem really great. I think I would like a lot of their EDC folders. I think the quality is there for the price point from what I've seen on other, you know, YouTubers' channels. So it's just a matter of time before I get my first real steel knife. Zelric, another knife channel. What is your preferred sharpening method and what major are you working toward? Well, we covered sharpening a little bit in part 1. It's this one, the GMT Aligner Pro Kit. Now, if I had my preferred one, if I could just have anyone in the world, it would again be the KME, because that sharpening system looks top notch pretty much. It looks like it's around the best that you can get and use easily. And he also asked what major you're working toward. I'm working toward an accounting major, which is really exciting, right? Rich Wilson, could you tell us how you sharpen your knives and what you use? We'll cover that a little bit. Thomas Skullwalter, the ZT0095 was the same color scheme as this one, the 0456, blue and titanium. Would you have one by now? I feel like they're similar in a lot of ways, but the 95 is longer and lighter. What do you think about it? Thomas, that is a great question because the ZT 0095 is probably my next ZT. In fact, when the 2016 lineup came out, I immediately liked these models, and I knew this 0220 was going to be mine someday. But that 95, I loved it. I was researching it all the time, you know, looking up thicknesses and things like that in action. And I got a chance to handle one a couple of times. And the first time I handled it, I wasn't impressed. And it was way back when, I mean, earlier this year, when I didn't have a lot of experience with higher end knives with their flipping action. So I thought the G10 was a little strong. I wasn't used to the titanium frame lock sound or anything like that. So I wasn't super impressed, so I kind of moved away from it. And the second time I handled it, it was at Blade HQ, and I know I want one. Because I love the black wash finish. I love the harpoon blade. I love the simple design. I mean, it's a titanium frame lock flipper. You can't really go wrong, especially if it's made by ZT. So great question. And then lastly, we have Caesar Tarolva. I really like your channel. Question is, why did you start collecting knives? What were your first knives? And greetings from Mexico. So hello. My first knife was this one, Kershaw Blur, and then I just kind of exploded from there. Got tons of Kershaws. But I started collecting because once I used this Blur enough that it was insanely dull, I did not maintain my edge because I didn't know anything about it. I started searching online a little bit just to buy another one, just another pocket knife. And I wasn't aware of all the companies, all the different designs, blade styles, steels, handle materials, all that. And it was just a whole new world, and I got really interested in it. And before I knew it, a lot of my expendable cash was going to knives. And I really don't regret it at all, because it's brought me a lot of enjoyment. I do like collecting, and I definitely do like doing these videos. So thanks for watching this one, guys. I know this one ran a little bit long, but I think I answered everybody's questions to the best of my knowledge. And I would definitely like to do one of these videos in the future because they're a blast. I do have some exciting things coming up for the channel too. I mean, my frequency of posting videos is at an all-time inconsistent high right now because school is nearing an end for this semester. But I promise there's lots more content coming, and I do appreciate you guys watching, of course. So remember, have fun with your knives.